All right, we're going to get right into it. On the next video, I'm going to show you guys proof positive that the elites, the people that are in charge of this coup of the world, right, the ones that are taking over all the governments around the world and trying to create a one world government, they're freaking out because of the internet. Because the internet is unleashing so much information that people can just go look stuff up for themselves, and they don't have to follow the ABC, CBS, NBC narrative anymore, or even Fox. All those agencies have been captured since way back in the day, and they've been propagandizing you. I might have said that wrong, but they've been giving it to you all these years and totally controlling the narrative. Introduce the internet and search engines, and all of a sudden people can go look up things for themselves. They can have aha moments, and they can start connecting the dots like we're going to do in this video right here. I'm going to play for you guys a clip of a Canadian citizen. As you're listening to this clip, I'm going to be injecting things that are going to prove what he's saying is true 100%. And he starts off by saying it all started in 1992.
Evening. Restructuring of Canadian mayors and municipalities under the auspices of the United Nations began in 1992. PM Mulroney signed Canada onto UN Agenda 21. Canada thus became a UN member nation state. 178 countries signed on, lured by the promise of big money to go green.
Environmental Leadership Act, as this is known, presents us with an opportunity to follow up on the important work of the Earth Summit to develop its blueprint, Agenda 21, for global environmental action. HCON Res 353 outlines a comprehensive national strategy for sustainable development in accordance with the principles of Agenda 21 to be coordinated under the leadership of a specific office and at the direction of a high-level government official. The resolution also urges the United States to identify and initiate further agreements to protect the global environment and to support the creation of a high-level United Nations Sustainable Development Commission headed by an Undersecretary General. Third and lastly, the President is urged to report to Congress on the progress made on with this action. HCON Res 353 is supported by the administration. I have been in contact with the appropriate offices of the State Department and have incorporated their suggestions into the resolution. The 71 co-sponsors of this measure include one-half the members of the Foreign Affairs Committee and all of the House delegates to the Earth Summit. It is also supported by the major United States non-governmental organizations
NGO
concerned with the environmental issues. The Earth Summit presented world leaders with an opportunity that should not be lost. We must now embark on a new course that will sustain our planet and its resources for the benefit of future generations.
Oh, Bush and Pelosi were teammates. They were ushering in the new world order. I hope you can see this with your own eyes. Let's continue with the tape.
By 2000, countries, including Canada, were being governed by directions of the UN, G7, G20, World Economic Forum, and World Health Organization, to name some. Every organization named is a foreign-based NGO, non-governmental organization, and every member of all these organizations is unelected. Parliamentary procedures for law changes weren't followed. In 1994, a municipal primer was issued to all local towns outlining how they were to restructure their governments. Though the municipal primer was a non-binding agreement, all towns adopted it. Our public officials, the mayor and councillors of that day, were partnered with a private corporation, the Corporation of the Town of Aurora, who appointed a chief administrative officer who helped implement the global agenda instead of a local one. The International Council on Local and Environmental Issues, ICLEI, became the main source of consultation to push and fund the global agenda. We remind you that the World Economic Forum and the United Nations signed a strategic partnership framework in 2019 to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
You heard him, he said in 2019 they accelerated the plan. What was going on in 2019? Why were they so freaking out? President Donald J. Trump is what was going on in 2019. Donald Trump was withdrawing from the WHO. He was withdrawing from the UN. And now maybe you guys can connect some dots that he's against this globalist takeover of our country. And they steal the election, get him out of the way, put their puppet back in. And the first thing that Biden does is he rejoins the Paris Accord and funds the UN and the WHO and all this stuff as it goes.
This is the same World Economic Forum whose chairman, Klaus Schwab, famously declared, "You will own nothing and be happy." This is the same Klaus Schwab who, referring to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, boasted, "We have penetrated more than half of his cabinet."
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young noble leaders of the world in great form.
We would ask Mayor Maracas and the councillors, why should the citizens of Aurora bow down to the intrusive dictates of an unelected foreign entity? The fact is we should not, and we will not. What, you ask, does any of this have to do with 15-minute smart cities? Absolutely everything. SMART, S for surveillance, M for monitoring, A for analysis, R for reporting, and T for technology. Technology News editor Patrick Wood, 50 years of experience and expertise on technocracy, wrote, "The 15-minute city is a cover for data collection bonanza for technocrats who design and operate them. Cities designed for maximum efficiency always reveal technocrat thinking that efficiency itself is the goal. Maximum surveillance allows for maximum control to achieve even more efficiency." At its very root, this mechanistic thinking is anti-human. The 15-minute city narrative seeks to fool you in the guise of saving the planet, keeping you safe, and delivering convenience. It's actually the gateway to digital IDs and CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. CBDCs allow bankers and or governments to freeze your bank account because you happen to peacefully and lawfully protest and express your disagreement with government policy. Anyone remember the truckers' convoy in Ottawa, February 22, when the Government of Canada invoked the Emergencies Act and froze the private bank accounts of law-abiding citizens? 15-minute cities are wolves in sheep's clothing. Don't believe the countless stories spewing forth from the 24/7 basis from the elitist captured mainstream media, all claiming to have your best interests at heart. We have been burned too many times. In reality, 24/7 surveillance through the Internet of Things inside your home, 5G and LED streetlights outside, monitoring and tracking and recording everything. Implementation of exclusion zones and geofencing to restrict movement and travel. Ability to control behaviors through military-directed energy technologies. Property and car ownership to be outlawed. Evictions from farms and rural areas to gather people into cities. Digital passports being promulgated by the UN, World Economic Forum, and the World Health Organization are in the final stages of planning and implementation.
Already, the digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able to launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise, as an ID, that they should be able to be identified digitally using their iris or their fingerprints, and we can transact without the necessity of people struggling to identify who they are. And the proudest part of it is that we don't have to spend the billions that we have spent on all the other manenos.
Now that was a guy talking about the digital ID in Kenya. But did you catch the very end where he said we won't have to spend the billions of dollars on this like the other ones? Well, that's because the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is the one flipping the bill. Man, you guys, you cannot make this stuff up. That Bill Gates is like Dr. Evil. He's running around just doing whatever he wants.
They are tied to social credit score, which is determined by compliance to government directives. These passports control all access and all aspects of life. Digital currency is being implemented to end cash and monitor all your spending. Your digital currency will be turned off or on depending on your compliance score. UBI Universal Basic Income is a state-controlled allowance forcing compliance by restricting access to food, money, services, and education. All of the above will enable climate lockdowns to be implemented easily, arbitrarily, and indefinitely. The real agenda of 15-minute smart cities is to monitor and control everyone and everything. In summary, in the coming days, Council will receive an electronic info packet which will contain the text of this delegation and other items. We, the citizens of Aurora, wish to enter into a meaningful, respectful dialogue with our elected members of Council on this complex, important issue. A key framework of that dialogue is a list of questions posed to Council. Can Council explicitly guarantee that citizens will remain free to travel as is their right under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? Can Council guarantee not to restrict access to essential services, medical care, bank accounts, government pensions, utilities? Most importantly, we, the citizens of Aurora, need to have the conversation with Council about exiting their non-binding agreement with the private, for-profit entity known as the Corporation of the Town of Aurora. We need to turn back the page to a simpler time when open, transparent municipal government serving its citizens and working in their best interests ruled the day. We are your equal partners on this journey.
You see the place erupted in a standing ovation. The people are sick and tired of it. But I wanted you to pay close attention to the assembly members, right? The ones sitting on the other side of the desk. Please notice their body language. Rewind the tape and notice their body language, okay? And just understand what we're up against, y'all. This is a plan that has been in place longer than 1992, but 92 they started solidifying it, especially in America and other countries. Klaus says they have captured these positions of power, which they have. You can look around and see what's going on. We have the elections are 2 weeks away here in America, y'all. Stay up on your prep, stay vigilant. Share this video with your friends so they can kind of start seeing like this is happening and it's a plan. And they are working their plan every single day while we are distracted and we're, battling, unnatural disasters. 2021, 2030, this stuff is for real. And it is going full steam ahead. All right? Share this video with your friends. Make sure you're subscribed to our videos. They're unsubscribing people from our channel. I wonder why. And if you're in the university.offgridwithdougandstacy.com. Just type that into your search bar. We'll see you guys tonight at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time with a really good topic. Okay? See you guys in the next video.